Hello there and welcome to our second and final edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV this Monday, the 19th day of August 2024. We're coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Nile Avenue on sign language. It is Senyamo Yusuf and I am Rukidi Edward Kijanankoma. Now, President Yoweri Museveni, in exercising his powers conferred upon him as President of the Republic of Uganda by Articles 99 and 203 of the 1995 Constitution as amended, has appointed persons as resident district and city commissioners, deputies and commissioners at the RDC Secretariat. However, among the several transfers and new appointments done, we look at major notables in newly created cities and hosting districts.
Asimo Jane Muhindo is the RCC for Kampala City. Catherine Kamwin is appointed Mbara City Resident District Commissioner, while Amina Lukanga takes on as RDC Mbara District. Hud Hussein is retained as RDC Masaka City, with Billy Janet Mulindwa as RDC Masaka District. Meanwhile, Asmin Nasike is appointed RDC Mbale City and George Wapua as RDC Mbale District. In the other notable shakeups, Ngole Lawrence Ime is appointed RCC Lira City, with Eyar Lilian as RDC Lira District. While Jinja City, Guleme Richard Baliaino is appointed RCC and George Magunda as RDC Jinja District. In Fort Portal City, Darius Nandinda is appointed RDC for the city and Festus Bandebe Besije as Kabarole District RDC. In Gulu City, Honoria Ambrose is appointed as RCC and John Bosco Tumwesije as RDC Gulu District. In West Nile Region, Salim Komakech is appointed as RDC Arua City, while Otoko Shuaib as RDC Arua District. In the Albertine Graben, Badru Mugabi is appointed as RCC for Hoima City, while Joshua Maseraka as RDC Hoima District. In the volatile districts, retired Lieutenant Jolly Joy Walusimbi has been retained as RDC for Kasese District, while Amongin Jane Francis Okile as RDC Moroto District. As veteran RDC Mpimbaza Hashaka Samuel is further pushed to newly created Obonge District as RDC. Crispus Ainitwe, UBC News.
Now, President Yoweri Museveni has asked religious leaders to unite against poverty and underdevelopment as some of the challenges faced by humanity in the country. The president was represented by Vice President Jessica Lupo at the closure of the 6th International Ecumenical Fellowship IFE Conference in the Imara district, where the president urged the religious leaders to mobilize believers to work towards achieving decent standards of living. He told participants that poverty and underdevelopment affect all people, irrespective of their religion, and he was therefore happy that the various delegates attending the conference are committed to address common challenges faced by humanity. He thanked Right Reverend Professor Fred Sheldon Mwesigwa, Bishop of Ankole Diocese and Chancellor of Bishop Stewart University, also President of IEF Africa, and all the organizers of the conference for convening an ecumenical gathering of distinguished delegates to discuss issues of development and socio-economic transformation.
To learn that the theme for the 6th International Ecumenical Fellowship Conference is Religion and Development, with special focus on achieving SDGs 1 and 3 that aim at ending poverty and promoting good health and well-being of all the people. Poverty and underdevelopment affect all people, irrespective of their religion. Therefore, I am happy that the various delegates here present are committed to forging unity in addressing some of the common challenges faced by humanity. God, in the book of Genesis, gave mankind 2 assignments. The first assignment was for man to multiply and fill the earth. This command has been executed very well by our people. However, it is a second assignment that has been neglected. You cannot establish dominion over nature unless you study it and understand it. God gave man the assignment of understanding nature and using it to solve problems. Therefore, our religious groups should emphasize the double mandate of establishing dominion over nature and multiplying and filling the earth. Man has both spiritual and physical needs. In the process of working for heaven, some of the faithful become negligent about their earthly responsibilities and thereby end up perpetuating poverty in their homes. If we have spiritually seen the light, then we must do the same economically. We cannot see the spiritual light, yet stay in economic darkness. It is in the best interest of everybody that we continue to accelerate towards modernity, development, and political stability. That is his message. Thank you very much.
The exhibitions at Las Vegas Hotel are a testimony that religion and development are intertwined. I thank God that when you look at Rent Farm Institute, it was the best institution in the whole country. It has been for the last 3 years. It's church founded. And sometime back, BSU was number 1 out of 125 universities in Africa in exhibition of agriculture-related stuff. Referral, through referral. So we thank God for this Christian university that is concerned with addressing the needs of the community. Appreciation. I begin by appreciating His Excellency General Dr. Museveni for his support to our college diocese. Especially, we were able to get the coffee seedlings through government. That was nuts. We have 223 acres of coffee on church land. Not land for Christians, church land. Christians, we have about 38 acres, small holders. But our plan is to expand so that we work with Christians and even Muslims, whoever comes.
Now, mixed reactions have emerged after the Speaker of Parliament, Anita Among-Annett, guided on the censure motion to remove the 4 backbench commissioners on allegations of corruption. But the crusaders of the censure motion cite that the Speaker's guidance is outside the premises of the parliamentary chambers and so deemed as an opinion. The MPs want the motion to appear on the order paper, maintaining that their grounds are different from the court ruling. Take a watch.
I want to thank you.
After the High Court pronounced itself on the service awards amounting to 1.7 billion shillings shared by the 4 backbench parliamentary commissioners, the ruling by Judge Douglas Singiza paralyzed the censure motion by a section of members of parliament who had sought their removal.
It would be better now for those members to come back and do other parliament business, because courts exist to adjudicate, and the result of adjudication is that the motion is defective. There's too much other work parliament can do, and those members can proceed with other parliament business.
The MPs quickly cite that the grounds listed in the censure motion stretch far from the service awards as ruled legal by the High Court.
That included misconduct, misbehavior, and we traversed them, saying, for instance, where we have evidence of them taking fictitious trips abroad, 90 days at a go abroad, trips with spouses, contracts of parliament, etc. So those are outside the service award.
In her response, the Speaker, Anita Among, on the notice of the censure of the 4 backbench parliamentary commissioners, guided that the ruling of the court should be respected. The Speaker charges that the 11th Parliament cannot proceed with the censure motion. The letter, addressed to Lemiyaga County MP Theodorus H. Kubo, who is the main crusade of the disapproval motion, collapses the intention to remove commissioners, including Matthias Mpuga, Solomon Sirwanyi, Prosa Kampurira and Esther Foychan.
This is not a ruling by the Speaker. The Speaker has just written a letter. She picked pen and wrote to Parliament. You get it? It's not a ruling of the Speaker. It's an opinion. It's not a ruling, this is an opinion.
So our motion is still relevant. It must appear on the order paper. Nobody is going to fool us in this Parliament. If you don't know to interpret the law, if you don't know how to interpret our petition, then you should hire machineries or lawyers to come and interpret for you. There is no way. This is uncalled for.
So there are mixed reactions in the media.
Speaker, because of us. So why do you really want to put parliamentary work? You want parliamentary work to be done in your office as an individual. That is very unfair. Let the matter come to Parliament and let a member, 1 or 2, raise this as a matter of procedure. We get arguments for or and against proceeding with this matter after a court ruling. Then she takes a ruling.
On the face of it, definitely after the court has made a ruling, you would have no reason pushing the motion on matters that have been settled by court. That would be contempt. But I have, like I said, I have not read the censure motion. So the Speaker, who has read both, is in a better position to interpret both the ruling and the motion and draw her own conclusions. If her conclusion is that they are the same issues, they have been handled by court, definitely you cannot have the same discussed in Parliament.
What we have is a record of court proceedings. And the record of court proceedings show that Daniel did not step at any single moment in court. He was represented by lawyers, all right, but he never, as a plaintiff, he never stepped in court, not even a single day. So these people just manufactured some complainant.
Latest development adjourns Parliament to 28th August 2024, when the August House starts its regional sittings from Kaunda grounds in Gulu district. The MPs think that the initiative is part of the alleged delay tactics to totally fail their demands.
Those regional sittings can be done from here in this Parliament. It's just a matter of saying, on Tuesday, we shall deal with the matters of Northern Uganda. On Wednesday, we shall deal with the matters in the order paper of matters of what? Western Uganda, Imara.
Mine is to say the sitting in Gulu is a very good thing. It comes at no additional cost to the taxpayer, but it comes with so many benefits. It comes to the enabling members of Parliament to go to see by themselves what it means to live outside Kampala.
Daniel Mugoya, Gloria Gutabinji, UBC News.
Thanks, Daniel, for that story there. Now, police in Kampala Metropolitan have arrested at least 10 suspects in a crackdown against criminal gangs. The operations targeted hotspot areas of Machindye, Katwe, Ndeje and Kasangati. Police is also pursuing 2 suspects for allegedly defrauding 43 unsuspicious people intending to travel to Israel.
The intersecurity intelligence-led operations against criminal gangs in Kampala has led to the arrest of some suspected perennial thieves and recovery of some stolen assortments.
And we made significant recoveries of suspected stolen items. We recovered 106 television sets, 16 woofers, 7 speakers, 2 mobile phones, 2 PlayStations, and 19 scrap laptops.
The operation started with the arrest of the purported ringleader, Gerard Lutaya, who led security to different hotspots to capture some of his accomplices.
And we made the arrest of Lutaya Gerard's wife, Nachigozi Catherine. We again arrested Catherine's brother, Lutaya Silas. Then arrested Silas's cousin, Muyanga Elias.
In other operations, Immigration Department, working with the security agencies, arrested 6 foreign nationals for forging Ugandan passports. These had fraudulently acquired Ugandan names and family lineages.
The group consisted also of a Nigerian national and I think a Ugandan who was trying to help these people to acquire our passports illegally. So our legal team, as usual, and other agencies have thoroughly investigated the trio and they are due for prosecution.
In Kampala Metropolitan, immigration is hunting for a duo for defrauding 43 Ugandans of 1 billion shillings under an unregistered tour company. It's alleged Andrew Sekimoli and Imlaitaya Jacqueline collected money to take people for a trip in Israel.
He offers very lucrative job opportunities in Israel, earning about 20 million shillings per month, according to him. And then these Ugandans, I have a list of 43 of them who were hoodwinked and paid 22 million shillings each. He's planning to run away because he already has a visa to the United States. But we are doing everything possible, first of all, to ensure that he doesn't leave the country.
Meanwhile, police have cautioned the public to be vigilant during this rainy season. This follows 5 reported cases of drowning and electrocution. Abdul Nasir Luwama and Rogers Komagun for UBC.
Now, 6 people have died and 37 injured in a head-on collision between a Fuso truck registration number UBM 673K and an Isuzu Gateway bus registration number UBQ 621Z at Chazanga Town Council along Masaka-Mbarara Highway in Luengo District. The spokesperson, Traffic Police Michael Kananura, told the media the accident was caused by reckless overtaking.
The fatal accident occurred in the wee hours of Monday in Chazanga town in Luengo district along Masaka-Mbarara Highway.
Crash involved motor vehicles UBM 673K Fuso and UBQ 621Z Isuzu bus. Traffic police responded promptly, rushing victims to the nearby clinics for medical attention and conveying the deceased to Chazanga Hospital mortuary. Both vehicles have been towed to Chazanga Police Station for further investigation.
The traffic police preliminary report on the Chazanga accident indicates a bus driver recklessly overtook and rammed into a Fuso truck head-on.
While at Kirumba from Barara side heading to Masaka side, attempted to overtake other vehicles by drifting into the opposite lane, colliding with the motor vehicle registration number UBM 673K, a Fuso which was from Masaka side heading to Chazanga side. The impact resulted into the death of 6 passengers, including the bus driver, and injured 37 passengers on the bus.
Meanwhile, the Traffic Directorate registered 76 fatalities and 355 injuries in the last 7 days, where motorcyclists with passengers contributed to 43% as the highest.
Among those that died were 24 motorcyclists, 19 pedestrians, 16 passengers on motorcycles, 5 drivers, 5 pedal cyclists, 4 others and passengers. The vulnerable road users Motorcyclists, pedestrians, and pedocyclists made up to 85% of the total death.
Michael Kananura, the traffic police spokesperson, attributes the surging number of road fatalities to reckless overtaking and careless overspeeding by inattentive drivers. Patricia Nandago and Abdul Nasir Luwama for UBC.
And now to matters pertaining to party politics, where the FDC Katonga faction wants to secede from a unified FDC party to form a new independent political party. The interim president of the FDC Katonga faction, Erias Lukwago, told the media at the National Delegates Conference that the official breakaway from the Najana Kwombi counterparts will be announced within 6 months.
Forum for Democratic Change FDC was formed on 16th December 2004 as an opposition political party. 2 decades later, a political wave has swayed the unified party, splitting it into two, the Katonga and Najanankomi factions. Each faction opted to traverse the country for consultative meetings with the party supporters. Today, hundreds of Katonga faction members met at Katonga for the National Delegates Conference.
We commit ourselves to working with our genuine democracy-seeking forces to rescue our beloved country.
The party's national chairman, Ambassador Waswabirigwa, in his remarks, urged the party members and the delegates to work together to break the bondage of NRM's longest stay in power.
We are chained in our minds because we have refused to liberate ourselves. How can we fail to liberate ourselves when we look at this number? How can we fail when only few, not even probably 2,000, are seated on our heads?
Retired Colonel Dr. Kizza Besigye, the party's founding father, reaffirms the commitment.
We are here to organize to regain control of the country. And regaining control of the country is not a simple task. It will not come on a silver plate. We must know, why haven't we regained the country up to now? It has been 20 years. Why? And we must overcome what has made us fail up today. Cast our fear away.
In the NECA report, the interim president Erias Lukwago told his supporters that they have defeated the Najanankomi faction.
I wish also to report that we registered a major victory in the Uganda Road Court case that had been instituted by the Najanankomi quislings through a proxy, a one Jamalu Wante, challenging the legality of our national chairman. The court rounded throughout the case on Thursday last week, the 15th of August, thereby cementing the authority and the legitimacy of Ambassador Waswa Birigwa as the undisputed and the unbogable party chairman.
Lukwago reiterates the proposals generated from the consultative engagements in 17 out of the 20 sub-regions and unanimously supported a new formation.
In addition to the forced resolutions, the bona fide members of FDC who are still committed to the struggle to push back the junta constitute themselves into a new formation which would entail dissolving the FDC party.
Delegates and members from different regions seconded the idea of forming a new independent party.
I would like, first and foremost, to second this motion strongly 100%.
I want to say that I second the motion.
I therefore also put a voice on supporting the motion.
They also condemned the arrest of their 36 colleagues who are facing terrorism charges.
We have, as you've already heard, 36 of our members who were very, very active, who are now rotting up in jail.
The National Delegates Conference was on the theme, refocusing the forces of change to the struggle of freedom, and was attended by over 800 delegates and representatives from other political parties, which included JEMA, People's Progressive Party, Ecological Party of Uganda, and Independents. I'm Ivan Juko and Hadija Navuga for UBC.
We'll now take a short break, but we'll be returning with much more. Do stay with us.
kutusaako papapatatuwa busonga kati nokulu mukaga nga 3 mwezi guno gwa 8 jangu ku Dams Water Kulagibbe Grounds tunyumirwe ng'okuyingira kijja kuba emitwalo 2 naye tiketi wogigulira ku MTN Momo ogifuna ku mutwalo gumu ye ya VIP ya mitwalo 3 kati nonyiga *165*2 oba kozesa Momo app weegulire tiketi yo ku MTN Momo ku bbeeyi rayisi tosubwa abayimbi bonna ab'e Kampala n'ab'e Busoga papapatene tegekeddwa Douglas Lwanga ne kutuusibwako MTN.
Together we're unstoppable.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
Welcome back, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Now, police have diverted some of the excavators initially used to search for and retrieve missing persons suspected to be buried underground in Chitezi. Now, these excavators are now being used to create a channel to allow water flow, as the path was blocked by large amounts of garbage. At least 35 bodies have so far been retrieved, while 28 persons are still missing. With more on that, here is our reporter, Ivan Kahwa.
It is 10 days ever since the Chitezi landfill incident occurred, where 35 people were reported dead and 28 others still missing. The Uganda Police Force has embarked on retrieving some of its excavators to support in the clearance of the drainage system that was covered by the garbage. Some of the houses in Chitetika have been flooded, arising from the water finding its own route, since there is no drainage channel as of now.
Akati njibe zara bezo bambi zibadde wakalu naye ekintu kino bwe kyabumburukuse ne kiziba amazzi gabadde galaga lichete webadde gayita ne kizibawo akali nkuba bwetonya gonna gajja gakola throwback era ennyumba zonna bonna bambi bali mu mazzi meereere kuba tebakyalina tegana gigalaga era singa tebabaawo kikolebwa mangu abo nabo gagenda kugwa ate kyensuubira nga it may take some time kyensuubira.
What is interesting is that other than viewing the garbage, we have also identified spots of maram. And I am told this maram was used for 2 purposes in this landfill. The first reason was to compact this garbage to ensure its stability. And the second reason was to ensure it acts as a seal for any form of reaction that comes within underneath the ground.
Batuufu kubanga tuyinza kuyiwa kasasiro yonna n'omupayiringa n'aba stable. Bw'omala omupayiringa oyiwako leeya ya maramu. Ekyo kyali kituufu balina okuliwa leeya ya maramu to stabilize so that they can continue piling on. Era leeya za maramu bayiwangako nnyingi nnyo emmotoka zayitanga wano nga tuziraba. Naye ng'ekyo kyo to stabilize, they had to do that.
The entire landfill has been surrounded by security agencies, and there are various spots where people are not allowed to have access to this specific area, including journalists. But I've also witnessed people who continue collecting recyclable waste, as has been to ensure that they enhance their livelihoods. Ivan Kahwa, UBC News in Chitezi.
Thanks, Kawa, for that story, but will remain in Chitezi momentarily. And today ends the 4-day grace period granted by Entebbe Municipal Council for garbage disposal at Katabi dumping site after the Chitezi landfill incident. Garbage collection in Kampala has slowed down, leaving piles of waste in many of the city's public spaces. Kampala Capital City Authority is still uncertain where to dump the garbage, but await a resolution from Cabinet meeting at State House Entebbe.
The recent collapse of the Chitezi-Chitetika landfill has heightened fears of a looming garbage crisis in the capital, Kampala. The landfill used to receive approximately 15,000 tons of garbage daily, leading to a massive garbage mountain. The Chitezi disaster, which has so far caused 35 lives, underscores the urgent need for authorities to find an alternative dumping site and embrace modern waste disposal practices in order to prevent a catastrophic waste pileup.
Tetusobola kukwata ate Chitezi nga bw'abadde tuddemu ekintu ekikaddiye ate tukiddemu eddundu kigenda kuba kipya nga nkola mpya, nkola ya kutereeza, nkola ya kujja birungi mu ebyo ebiba bikasukiddwa oba kasasiro.
KCCA temporarily acquired the Katabi dumping site to manage the garbage for 4 days while searching for other alternatives. However, the 4-day period ends today, Monday, leaving the authorities unsure of where to dump the piling city garbage.
Government cannot fail. We cannot fail to handle this situation.
The landfill disaster has also caused many waste management companies in Kampala to grapple with a sudden halt in operations, leading to garbage piling up on most of the city's roads. Areas such as Nakasiru Market and around the Mapera building have been severely affected.
Esonga ya kasasiro yafuse kasasiro mangati buli wamu woyita kasasiro atenga wawunya tusaba abobuyinza abayina kuyola kasasiro batunoonyeza amagezi bafune obamuyuwa tusobole kufunako wetusiza emirimu gifudde olwa kasasiro.
Responding to the crisis, KCCA's public relations officer Daniel Nwabine stated that negotiations are ongoing aimed at keeping the city and its suburbs clean.
The Council of Mukono, I'm sure it is also sitting today, but also Cabinet is sitting. All these assets are purchased out of the consolidated fund, and we believe when there's a challenge in one part of the country or in one part of the metropolitan, the other part must be able to step in, because we all work here, then go back.
Lack of an immediate solution could spell doom to a city already choking from garbage. Justine Nakami, Faith Cayenne, UBC News.
The International Organization on Migration, IOM, a leading international organization in the field of migration, together with Abayuti Climate Action Network, have asked the youth to champion climate-friendly initiatives aimed at mitigating climate-related disasters. They revealed this while gathering views from the youth, which will form part of the National Action Plan on impacts of climate change, environmental degradation, conflict and instability for communities affected by or at risk of displacement.
Adopted in July 2022, the Kampala Ministerial Declaration on Migration, Environment and Climate Change seeks to address effects of climate change on human mobility in the Eastern Horn of Africa.
And we are trying to make sure that we disseminate the Kampala Declaration on Migration and Environment and Climate Change to the youth, but also pick their inputs or key messages that will be reflected in the National Action Plan of the KEDMEC. Today we've also had the introduction to climate mobility, whereby experts from IOM were able to train or facilitate a training where they introduced or brought the context of climate mobility to our youth participants to understand what climate mobility is, and then also they unpacked the KEDMEC, which is a policy framework.
Today's event has brought youth from all walks of life to collect views geared at enriching Uganda's action plan on climate mobility.
And the commitments in this framework So what we're trying to do today is to collect youth messages that will support or will be reflected in the national action plan of this policy framework.
So having these facilitative meetings ensures that these voices from the grassroots, from the youth, also come represented, and that will then lead into the government action. So only at that point we really start moving on the ground, developing projects, ensuring that there's transformative strategies to go forwards and have real impact on the ground. But these frameworks are the enabler for it, and it's important that everybody gets to participate in their development.
The action comes at a time when most of the displacements currently being experienced are driven by climate change.
One of the things we're doing here is to collect the youth messages and present them to the government. And one of the things they're asking for is infrastructure development, and not just infrastructure, but resilient infrastructure, futuristic infrastructure. We have participants here from Bwaise, from different slums. We have participants from refugee camps. And with the floods that are happening in this country, in this city, infrastructure is one of the biggest things that we need.
According to Uganda Met Hazard Report, over 12,000 people were displaced in June and July, heightening the need for a more integrated approach to avert this unbecoming trend. The youth climate activists recognize the need to ban plastics, reinforce climate financing, and accelerate reusable non-disposable plastics, and avail more information on climate. Crispus Arinitwe, UBC News.
Now, recognizing that girls are often at risk of gender-based violence, the Forum for Women in Democracy and Reach a Hand Uganda will hold the second edition of Imara Girls Festival on the 12th of October 2024, seeking to raise $7.8 million to construct Imara Women's Center in Kasangati. The Hub for Young Girls and Women will offer a space for reflection, learning, networking, nurturing, healing and self-care while advancing women's creativity and innovation.
And we began that in 2019. And when we...
To support the construction of Imara Women's Center, the Forum for Women in Democracy and Reach a Hand Uganda is organizing the second edition of Imara Girls Festival. The October Festival is a celebration of Uganda women's voices, innovation and creativity.
But also, if you look at the spaces and the opportunity, like the festival itself, last year we were able to see a lot of female musicians. I think Lillian was there and others. And for me, listening to Jackie again, it's an inspiration for our talent, our young talent. It's very, very hard.
So in terms of sustainability, as forward, how we see this going is, first of all, is we are committed to ensuring that the Imara Girls Festival is a standing space that now tells you we are committed to walking this journey, because it's a journey that we see as a snowball. It keeps growing and growing and growing, but also it keeps bringing together girls and young women in their diversity, where we can't afford to walk the journeys as separate silos of women and girls, but to bring it all together.
The Imara Women's Center will serve as a practical base to advance the struggle for gender equality and a select center for women and girls.
The Imara Women's Center is supposed to be a center that brings together women, men, girls, boys, a space that we all need, which we do not have. That is part of sustaining the work we do. Because also we acknowledge we can't liberate ourselves as Africans when we are always relying on money from the global north. The revolution around African independence totally will not be funded by the global west. We must fund it. We must decolonize, and we must localize our struggles.
The center will also act as an incubation hub that fosters and facilitates girl-child innovation and empowerment.
Happening, and considering the fact that I'm a victim of so many things that some of you may not have gone through. I'm talking about domestic violence, I'm talking about addiction, depression, all those things. So I can comfortably stand here because I know there's nothing on this earth that can throw me down again. There is nothing that hasn't happened to me. So the fact that we need people to unleash their potential, because I believe there's so many people in the creative industry who became what they are when they didn't even know that they could become. Something had to unleash their potential. Somebody had to push them somewhere, somehow.
We experience more that, I don't want to say men don't,
but ours is a different story. But also to seek guidance for people, seek for mentors, you know, people who are in your space.
It also seeks to raise awareness and funds towards the establishment of this Women's Center. Crispus Ainitwe, Dani Lugamwa, UBC News.
From Kampala, let's go to Karamoja sub-region, where people in Karamoja and Sebei sub-regions are urged to focus on social and economic development. In a regional security meeting, the participants concurred that peace being experienced in the area can transform the communities.
Security meeting for South Karamoja districts of Amudat, Nabilatuk, and Nakapiripirit and Sebei sub-region districts was held at Moru Ajole in Pian UPE Game Reserve in Nakapiripirit district. The meeting was attended by security officials from UPDF, police, Uganda Wildlife Authority, prison, and district officials. The park management raised concerns about encroachment, problem animals, and illegal cattle grazing by Pokots from Amudat, Piano of Nakapiripirit, and Nabilatuk district.
This is a jewel of Karamoja. Visitors are coming for this very important attribute which I mentioned, but at times when they come here, they find a lot of cows. They want their money to be refunded. It's a big challenge. And
Okware, that this conservation requires that we have community structures so that it is there more advanced. At one point you did come, identified people from kraals, but we have never seen the functionality of those structures. Again, I am aware that there is supposed to be a budget for community sensitization and mobilization. We have never seen this.
The anti-stock theft commandant, Francis Chemusto, urged the pastoralist communities to embrace education.
Transform completely, that we don't get back to where we have now come from. We have to empower these children, especially when it comes to education. Education is not only for a job, but it also enlightens you to be a better person.
The leaders discussed issues of regional development now that there is relative peace, how to develop the two regions with current peace.
We stop hiding behind security. Can we take a step? What kind of security are we talking about that is hindering development in our sub-region or sub-regions?
Need to really dialogue so that we find on how we can create grazing corridors at the time of scarcity.
Now starting to think that there must be a demonstration project in Nabilatu, and we must look for these resources. Because we have been exposed to these tours. Come and see what's happening in Kaso, what's happening around the greater Luero Triangle, how it is transforming.
Month of April 2022 alone, and that's the time when I came to Nabilatu. The cattle business in Lolachat alone, Lolachat cattle market, Lolachat is the biggest, fetched us 1.1 billion shillings. These were the sales. If we consolidated the piece and then the leaders of all sectors focused on the cattle business, cattle trade, because we have even opened another market, Lokapel Junction Market. I think we can earn.
We'll be going for a short break, but before that, let's have a look at how the shilling fared today against selected local and international currencies in our money market report.
Uganda. Thank you for showing your fire. Has Nabole Stadium opened its doors once again? You are one movie. You were the 12th player when Uganda Cranes needed you the most. Through our famous wins against Uganda and our unlucky losses, you stood firm, supporting even louder. Now, as Uganda Cranes take on South Africa and Congo this September, South Sudan in October, and play our second legs against South Africa and Congo in November, bring even more fire! Because with your support, Uganda Cranes is unstoppable! Uganda Fire! Proudly brought to you by MTN, the #1 supporter of Uganda Cranes. Together, we are unstoppable. The East Africa UK Tourism and Culture Expo 2024 is here, happening on 8th and 9th of November 2024 under the theme Enhancing Tourism as Engine for Social and Economic Transformation on the sidelines of WTM London at the Rembrandt Hotel, 11th Thalo, PI South Kensington, London, SW7 2RS, United Kingdom. For tickets, exhibitors will pay £1,000 and participants will pay £300. For more information, call +256 787 096 100 or +254 795 806 969. Visit www.eaukTourismExpo.com to register.
Welcome back. Business news now, and we go to Ruchiga, where residents of Ngoma village in Ruchiga district have commended President Yoweri Museveni for the parish development model funds that have helped them to generate income for their households. The remarks were made in Kigezi region by members of the Patriotic League of Uganda, PLU, led by Gloria Kamsime, the PLU youth coordinator in the region.
Patriotic League of Uganda has provided foodstuff to over 50 families that were recently affected with heavy floods in Ruchiga district.
Reason why we have given food to the needy, they are too old, they can't climb hills of Kigezi.
Shemerizwe munonga abebinte byara tukolera kandi nakarurukanje ndatekwa kukaha kene rugaba jenumu.
The parish councillor and residents praised President for bringing in such programs like PDM that support the underprivileged people.
According to PDM is giving us money. We use that money from poverty into rich. Buy goat. When you are in the enterprise of goat, you buy goat. When you are in the enterprise of bean, you buy bean and you go and grow, and you get more money from that money. We have poor roads, and we have few hospitals.
Parish development model balesirezo sente amakaninzi agagine bushagatire bunzero kakatule kuba barazinaka bwe ubona bagura mukate kachabwa mukato kugira ngo akore.
Kamusime also appealed to parents to educate their children and warned them against early marriages.
Abazire b'abana bona balyaha mureberereje abana banyu mwebale munonga mubareberere je mwabakuza mukacha kumwine konka nitushaba na gavumenti mugiyambeko okugira ngu mwani mureberera gye abaana bayo gavumenti nayo nikiza kujanguhira nti omuzire niwe ori kubanza kugunjura omwana wawe then na gavumenti ekija ekakukwatira nyeto bagenzi banje abaryaha imwe baana mwehare ebintu byokushwerwa mukiri bato
tusisimuke tugire ngo cyo kutugira ngo turi abebembezi ba nyencyakare bikomere izoba turi abebembezi ba ryari abahatiya twatandika hatiya twebembere Uganda yeitu batulire.
Sports news now, and the 22nd edition of the Federation of East Africa Schools Sports Association Festa Games has entered Match Day 2. The championship has Bukedia Comprehensive School as the main host, but with several other East Uganda locations providing facilities for the games.
The Festa Games of 2024 have entered day 2 of action in all disciplines of basketball, netball, handball, football, rugby and table tennis, among others. In basketball girls, a 3x3 Seroma started with a 14-13 win over Kenya champions Butere. Nabisunsa girls also had a good 19-12 winning start over Kenya's Nasokol. While in basketball 5x5, defending champions Emery's Kitende beat Rwanda's Okesewa 58-55. St. Noah beat Kenya champion Butere 67-41, while Nabisunsa lost 55-45 to Kenya's Buruburu. In boys basketball, defending champions Budo SS started with a win, but 3 Uganda sides, Janana, hosts Amos College, and national champions Watoto lost their first games. In boys football, a defending champions Kitende started with a 2-0 win over Kenya's Highway, but hosts Amos College drew 2-2 with Kenya's Musingu, while in girls football, hosts Amos College still lost 2-0 to Kenya's champion Butere SS. In boys volleyball, hosts Bukedia Comprehensive beat Kenya's Namwere 3-0. Hilton beat Hospital Hill of Kenya 3-2. While in girls, St. Elizabeth beat Seroma 3-0, but hosts Bukedia lost 3-0 to Kenya's Kesogon. In badminton, that is being played at Mbare SS Kenya A-Walloped Progressive Secondary School 4-1, while Kibuli Senior Secondary School humiliated St. Mary's College Kisubi 5-0. Rubaga Girls School, that has players like Fajila Shamika, Olivia Chomukama, Ketin Dagire and Joan Kimbale, got a 5-0 victory over Kenya A.
And today was day 1 and we played against Kenya. It was a good match for me personally. I won my match and I see the rest of my team is also doing quite well. We have high hopes for this championship because I feel like with me the team might be stronger enough to win the gold medal, and hopefully we achieve that. And yeah, I trust my team to also back me up.
Story by John Barnes Sentamo. Now, Soroti City defended the Women's T20 League title after winning a tense final against Olila Cricket Club by 16 runs. The final, played over the weekend at the Lugogo Cricket Oval, climaxed to the 2024 Uganda Women's T20 League.
Olila came into the final on the back of an unbeaten record and were determined to push the defeating champions till the final over. However, Soroti City, led by Proskovia Alako, 43 runs, were up for the challenge, defeating Olila by 16 runs to defend their T20 title. Olila won the toss and elected to bowl, allowing Soroti to set a target of 125 runs for 6 wickets, which was unchaseable for them, only managing to respond with 109 runs for 8 wickets, losing by 16 runs and handing the victory to Soroti City.
What
the local league does for us. It gives us not just the cream, but even those who will be playing in 4 or 5 years from now. This gives us a building block for what Uganda cricket will look like as a national team. Victors, congratulations, and to the second team, I am sure this builds a challenge. This means that in the coming season, you'll come stronger, you'll come better, and for our younger players, do not give up.
This season has been good for us because we played all our games and we won all our games. It was actually our first loss against Soroti City, of which we didn't also take it easy. We came to win, but then I think by the end of the day, the best team wins. However, we are waiting for them next season, which is starting September, and we are not going to come easy. I hope we'll be able to win next time.
I'm very happy today that my team has come out victorious in the final against our sister club, Olila High School. I would like to say that we've had quite a good tournament. A good season. The girls have worked so hard. They have played as a team. You might wonder what made us get to this position at this time. I think that my team has got a mix of a bit senior players and youngsters, and we gel so well. We complement each other so well. So I think everyone has had something that they brought to the table, and they've been consistent throughout the whole season. And I think that's what has helped us win today.
As Soroti City win their second T20 crown in a row, Olida Cricket Club will have to wait another season before adding on to their 2017 title. In the individual category, Tornado Bees Teddy Oyela walked away with the MVP crown, while Stephanie Nampina and Naomi Amogin won the Best Batter and the Best Bowler awards respectively.
Go 1, 2, 3.
And the National Basketball League playoffs have entered semi-final game 2 in both genders. Our reporter was at the MTN Arena in Lugogo for the latest fixtures.
Four games have been played in the latest schedule of the National Basketball League, which is at the semi-final stage. In the women's category, reigning champions JKL Lady Dolphins edged JT Lady Jaguars 71-47 to take a 2-0 lead in this best-of-5 series. The other game among the women is now level at 1-1 following a hard-fought 54-51 victory by Kampala International University Rangers over Uganda Christian University Lady Cannons. City Oilers have remained on course for a recorded 10th men's crown following a 62-55 victory over Uganda Christian University that put them 2-0 up. In the men's last game of the day, Kampala International University Titans played like angels to beat Namungo Blazers 81-77 to level the series at 1-1. Peter Obleng's 19 points set the tone for KIU that also benefited 29 points from the bench that had Kasareka Tembo, Stanley Mugerwa and Brian Opio. Playoff action continues on Tuesday with KIU Rangers facing UCU Lady Cannons, while Namungo Blazers return against KIU Titans at the MTN Arena Lugogo.
And that's all we had time for. Thanks for watching and have a blessed night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda. Buli munya-Uganda nayetenga amakuru marungi. UBC West eyina amakuru marungi kandi agali kwesigwa. Leero za program zaayo ziri omulunya